where people had the wisdom to understand without keeping the soil quality, there is no agriculture. Now we're just trying to put it back the way it was.
மலர்கள் கேட்டேன் வனமே தந்தனை தண்ணீர் கேட்டேன் அமிர்தம் தந்தனை மலர்கள் கேட்டேன் வனமே தந்தனை தண்ணீர் கேட்டேன் அமிர்தம் தந்தனை. Sadhguru, so nama first Kaveri calling patti pesalam. Just to make everything just simplify it for people. Like I knew Kaveri calling was happening, but I knew that okay, it's something about saving Kaveri. But after coming here, I got to know that it has a lot to do with trees and planting trees and
soil and farmers and the rural economy, big time. That is the main thing actually. See, what's happened is this: we have moved agriculture from traditional ways of doing things, where people had the wisdom to understand without keeping the soil quality, there is no agriculture. Somehow we lost this wisdom because of commercial forces and a certain lacuna in the policy making. So one thing that happened is, because machines came, animals disappeared. Animals became a burden for people. People did not retain the knowledge of how to use the animals in the farm even if they don't work. Even if an animal doesn't work for ploughing and things like that, even if a machine is being done by those things, still an animal could be hugely useful if you just use the dung and the urine of the animal, a bovine animal. A lot can be done on the farm. But right now, what we did was just go for chemical fertilizer because somebody campaigned and advertised their products. And because of this, because of excessive chemical usage or salts, fertilizers are essentially salts. Because of excessive salts, we are killing the microorganisms in a very massive way. Because of that, the land has become fallow. 42% of Tamil Nadu's land has become declared fallow. So, agriculture has become a great challenge. Thousands are committing suicide, not able to understand really why their life has become like this. Fundamentally, it is the fertility of the soil is gone. Because of that, the water is gone and they're becoming debt-ridden. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. So the solution for this, and the Kaveri is drying up. Kaveri drying up is only an indicator for me, that's not the source. Yeah. The real thing is the soil is dying. And the farmer is dying because of that. Because of that, the river is also dying, because the soil is going like this.
You were talking yesterday about something about trees being… because for us, afforestation or planting trees always means it's immediately related to forest. So you were talking about how to plant trees and how it's actually useful for the farmers.
See, we are not talking about afforestation at all. This is not another tree planting campaign.
Yeah.
This is agroforestry, a different way of doing your farming. And this is not new, this is not rocket science. This is something traditionally our farmers have always done, which they have forgotten in the last 35–40 years because of commercial campaign. Now we're just trying to put it back the way it was, that there must be substantial amount of trees on a tropical land, otherwise the rainwater that comes down upon us, which is the only source of water, will not percolate into the land. It is flowing on the surface. Because it's flowing on the surface, there's an enormous amount of topsoil which is just going away with every rain. And they're saying something like 65 billion tons of soil is being eroded per year. This means in another 60 years, we will hardly have any topsoil in the world, not just in India. Yeah. So this is a serious issue. And India, it is much more because the human footprint on the land is heavier in India than almost anywhere in the world.
you were talking about farmers being able to cut their trees. So because cutting trees has become a blasphemy now, you know, cut trees and you're
That
in
is
so much.
because people who live in the city, they don't understand. If you do not allow a farmer to cut his tree, why will he grow it? That's why he's not growing it. Because there is such policy and there is such activism in the country. We must understand, somebody is willing to invest his land only if he is able to use the produce, otherwise why will he do it? Now I am talking about raising 242 crore trees. You think you can ask the farmer to raise these trees to save the world, to save you in the city?
Yeah.
Not going to work.
Yeah.
We are talking about his economics. His economics will improve phenomenally. Now he's going to do it. That's what Kaveri calling is about. It's an economic plan with a significant ecological impact. That is why it will work, because there is economic benefit. Otherwise, you can preach as much as you want. In the city, you can blog, you can be an online warrior, and you can grow trees on your phone screen, but that's not going to help.
Though this whole, impact that we are having on nature and on all the natural species around us, it goes more than just an action, right? It is in consciousness, right? Like there's the
If
consciousness.
we are conscious, one thing we need to do, if you're really conscious, one thing we need to do is contain human population. We're nice, but we're too many. Nobody wants to address this because everybody wants more people on their side.
But don't you think that because of this, like the human consciousness is so constricted, it is so to only self, that nobody is even connecting. There has to be a connection for us to even feel this. There has to be some kind of expansion. So I'm saying you're doing all of this, and then finally we are giving all of this to a world which has such constricted consciousness. Is it going to…
All my life, my work is about raising human consciousness.
Yeah.
That's all I've done.
Yeah.
Environment is just a small outcome because we have managed to raise human consciousness in a big way in nearly 1 billion people across the planet. Now, we are doing a little ecological work, all right? But the main work is the inner ecology of the human being. That's all my whole life is about.
But you think that human consciousness has actually risen?
Oh, yes, definitely. Otherwise, you think you would find so much support across the world right now? Including United Nations is supporting us big time, all the governments are supporting, only because human consciousness has become little awakened, maybe not totally. So, you be part of this and make it happen, huh?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ravirashtrasya